Hi. Oh, let me put this on. Oh, it's like a little grip thing that I use sometimes when I have headaches. It's like a acupressure thing. Sometimes I think it works. Sometimes I don't think it does. It's Isaiah's birthday. He's not here today.
What?
I know. I took time to write that. I mean, thank God I didn't make cookies or anything, but
I mean, if you did, I mean, I would appreciate
they would get eaten for sure. People always try to come in this room, but don't have me as their teacher.
Okay, here.
What?
Okay.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Wow, he's never here. Why? He could also, well, I was going to say he could be taking the ACT, but Randall is marked absent specifically because he's in the ACT, and Kay doesn't have anything. No, there he is. Hi. I just can't admit. All right, we only have Alexis so far, so I'll let you say hi to her.
Hi.
Okay, hold up.
Oh wow, that's quiet.
Hold on.
There you go.
Just keep it just Alexis and let's bully her.
Let's bully her. We're not gonna bully her.
Bully Alexis. Do it.
I have vengeance right now. I would not suggest it. This has been a very bad week for girl. Hold on. I'm gonna show Miss McClellan too, because it is insane what I did. Okay, I don't feel normal.
Okay, we're gonna not let LeBron in for 3 more minutes. It's not 10:57 yet. I don't have to let him in.
Yes. Girl, I had a rough day yesterday, and I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'll just clean my entire room, pick up all of the floor and move my bed over there to where I have a 8 by 6 foot bed now. Okay. And I was like, let me clean the floor and let me clean the things and all of the beautiful. That's just a pile of stuffed animals, okay? It's not like actually.
Know, right?
The way that the camera was moving.
I've done cribs of laundry, and I am folding them now. I have not done. Let me tell you that I have never done a load of laundry in my entire life.
Oh my gosh,
wow!
What?
And you're already folding it. That's so great. Folding it is the worst part.
Oh well, we don't have a dryer. So we have to air dry it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And so I have to air dry all of my stuff, and then I have to hang it up on hangers and everything else like that. And then it's just basically folding, because all of my clothes, I don't have a dresser because my room is literally 10 by 10. So all of my clothes go in color coordinated order in my closet. And currently my entire closet's full. I don't have any room to sit in there anymore. Not that I would have anywhere to sit on it, because all of my blankets are out here on the bed, because now I have a giant bed.
Don't let him in.
What is weird?
Well, then we have other people, and also we have 1 minute left until class actually has to start. So
I thought this morning, so I went in there. I was like, Miss Coco, am I taking it? She said, I was like,
no.
And then she was like, you have another month. And then David and Sarah were like, I should have done that.
David, Hunter, Sarah, and Randall are the only ones taking it today, and everyone else is taking the SAT in a month.
Yeah, I might take the ACT next year.
Yeah, no reason not to. Where is everybody else? I mean, I know I'm not letting LeBron in yet, but
maybe LeBron sends a signal to everyone to get in the
maybe
class.
so. What about James? What about Genesis? What about Zane?
Is Caden in the
Caden is here in person today.
Wow.
I know.
I have to now deep dive for my phone through my 15 pillows.
Hello. You say pillow.
Hello. She's got that Las Vegas accent.
Yeah,
hello.
Oh, she's got Vegas accent.
It's a tapestry.
Pretty.
There's James.
What? I actually do have a Vegas accent, but it's really weird. It's like
It's really weird.
I cut everything off. It's when I get really angry. I think you've seen
I hate
it.
it when it gets frozen. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Now it's just
There's a
frozen on
new
there.
tapestry.
Oh, what a
It's
bummer.
like I'm ascending to God every single night.
Oh, that's sick.
That bumped me hard.
Wait, what if you just like spin it?
What if I just spin it?
Yeah. No, like can you like continuously spin it?
I have this plugged in,
Oh.
so eventually it'll like get wrapped up. Okay, let me let these fellas in if I can. I can't actually right now. We have the spinning beach ball of doom.
What?
The spinning beach ball of doom.
The spinning.
You're
beach
very
doom.
See, it's what is it doing? What is it ever doing?
Where's your rod?
Curses, huh?
That's your rod?
Yeah,
Beat it up.
I need to beat it up. Okay, I'm letting
What is Alexis
some
doing?
boys in
What
here.
is Alexis doing?
So, not to flex or anything, but give me 1 second. Watch my camera.
Are you on a boat? Oh my God, James! I'm so jealous. How dare you?
I know, right?
I'm furious.
Yeah, you know,
Why are you wearing a jacket?
it's so cold here. It's unbelievable.
Where is here?
Being cold at
And-
the beach.
An island in Florida.
You're in Florida?
Yes. And it's
Careful,
like
Florida man.
60
What?
degrees.
Why are you in Florida?
You know, why not?
Ours,
It's
like,
like taking a vacay.
it's
Yeah,
so
you know?
this class just takes random trips because now it's just me and James where we literally just show up on other sides of the country.
Yeah, we're here for a week. I'll be joining from a baseball stadium tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
The sound is
We
Bro, I'm in Georgia.
the weekend to fly to Vegas for no reason.
Why is
pretty
everybody else going other places but me? Wait a second, hold on.
You're in Georgia.
Right?
I'm in Georgia with my cousins and
I
brother.
want to go other places. I want to go to Disney World. I just don't want to
That
wear
would
a
be
mask.
fun. Yeah.
I'll go at some point when I don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
I really appreciate it. And I hope whoever does that voice gets a big tip from
His name is Oliver.
All of it.
Yes, I can pick voices, and I have chosen Oliver. This was
Oliver.
what he was on my computer all year last year, and for like 2 years now. But
Hey,
for
are you
some
married to the
reason, on
guy?
my new computer, it didn't work out. I don't
It
know.
didn't work out.
That's tough for love. Now,
Okay, shall we go over vocabulary from yesterday?
yeah, and thank you for bringing down the mood.
Well, I'm so jealous of James, I can hardly stand it. So I'm just gonna ignore it and not think about it.
I can turn my computer on again.
Okay, go for it. Oh my God, look at it. It's so blue and beautiful.
It is. It's great.
Let me let Zane in here. Can I what?
Wait, turn your camera down just a little, James.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Now keep it like that, but just like mute yourself.
Oh
Give me
my
1
God.
second. Let me mute myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great angle.
That was-
No. Turn it back to the beach. Turn it back. There we go. Yeah. Now just keep it like that.
We have your video pinned right now. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
If I close my eyes, it might be like an action.
I know, right? I can't wait for spring break. Even if it's not terribly warm outside, I'm gonna spend every day at the beach. The beach, the beach.
Everybody's gonna be a beach person.
What?
Why do you want to go to the beach? Go to the forest. It's not so bad.
I didn't say it was so bad, but I don't think you have to pick one. Like you can like both of them.
The only forest I go to is at the county park, and that's about it because it's a controlled population of bugs and animals out there. Anything else? Don't want it. Don't
You guys
need it.
want me to turn my chair around?
No, we want to just see the beach. That's it.
Okay, you know what? I don't blame you.
Yeah. Just keep it perfectly like that. Look
Alright.
beautiful.
I find them everywhere.
Okay, let's go over this vocab.
All right.
I'm just gonna run through the words real quick so everybody knows how to pronounce all of them. And some of them you're gonna recognize already because we have, like, as we've read, we've come across them and been like, what does that mean? Taciturnity, the state of being taciturn. It's just quiet, like you don't talk a lot, the state or quality of being reserved or reticent in conversation. Number 2 is opulent, which is ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish, like a mansion or a palace. Number 3, I know we came across this one the other day, discomfiture, which sounds like just discomfort, and it's close enough to that. It's this feeling of unease or embarrassment or awkwardness. Number 4 is derision, which is contemptuous ridicule or mockery. Number 5 is convivial, which may have been used to describe a character in this book. Friendly, lively, and enjoyable. Number 6 is aver, which is to assert or affirm with confidence. And that word always makes me think of the Wizard of Oz, because when they do the Munchkin song, the coroner comes in and he says, as coroner, I must aver, I thoroughly examined her. I'd sing the rest of it, but we've got to move on. Number 7 is foist, which is to impose an unwelcome or unnecessary person or thing on to someone else. Like you foist if you invite somebody to a party that the host didn't invite, you have foisted their company on everyone. Number 8 is inexorable. I like that word. Impossible to stop or persuade by any means, or stubborn. Number 9 is a really good word for Starkfield, austere. It means severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance, or having an extremely plain and simple style or appearance. Like, what's it called? Starkfield is a very austere town because there's not much going on there. There's not all that many buildings. It's just like blankets of snow everywhere. And number 10 is evoke, which is to call forth or call up or to bring to mind. So let's go over these sentences. I kind of don't want to share my screen because it's so beautiful right now.
It's so windy.
It's very windy there.
It's so windy here. Oh my god.
It's windy here too. Yeah. Driving home yesterday, I thought my tiny little car was going to just be blown away. Okay, the first one, and this is an accurate statement. I cannot watch the movie Wonder because it blanks too many emotions and I do an embarrassing amount of crying.
Evoke.
Evoke. It evokes too many emotions. Oh, God. It's so good though. Number 2, because Maddie was so friendly and lively, the Fromes wanted her to be able to enjoy blank events like the dance.
Convivial.
Yes, convivial. You both said it. Number 3, the millionaire's home downtown with the wrought iron gate and the pool out front was the most blank house I've ever been in. Opulent, yes. And that's also true. It's like one of our main donors at Allegro. We got to go to this house for a party a couple of years ago. And
Oh yeah.
amazing.
It was definitely interesting, I will say.
Yes. Oh yes, I forgot that you played for that.
Yeah, I was just background noise.
We did that for 2 years in a row, and there weren't students performing the first year. Opulent. But on the way to the one where you played, Cece, we'd been downtown for dinner. I think it was me and Miss Nathan and maybe Miss Darling, maybe Miss Kim, and we took an Uber there. And our Uber driver hit a car on the way and kept going.
Oh, nice.
He just like ran into someone's mirror, like just the way, like in downtown, they'll be parked on the side. And it was very narrow, but he was like, I got this. And he drove fast and like knocked their little side mirror off and just kept going. We're like, what do we do?
It was very hard trying to like find a place to park down there.
For sure. And it's not like super close to our old building. So like you can walk. I think I walked home, but
You wouldn't want to though.
You wouldn't want to, especially if it's like super hot outside, which I think it was.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, the cafeteria erupted into laughs of blank when the boy tripped on his backpack and face planted on the floor. Derision, yes, perfect. Number 5, due to her blank, the girl was often perceived as aloof and unfriendly, but she was really just painfully shy. Taciturnity, yes. Number 6, though he has been in prison for 18 years, Stephen Avery continues to blank his innocence.
Aver.
Aver, yes. So I'm making a murderer reference for those of you who are unfamiliar. Number 7, with no art or decorations, no carpets and white walls, the apartment has a very blank appearance. Austere, correct. Alyssa is on top of it today. Number 8, the rental company, oh, this is so annoying to me. The rental company said they were giving me a free upgrade, but what they actually did was blank a car upon me that was bigger than what I'm comfortable driving. Foist, yes, the only times I ever have had to rent a car, I ask for little tiny cars because that's what I'm comfortable driving. Like I drive a Honda Fit in real life. So like it's like a little, it's almost like a shell around me. It's so small. And they're like, oh, we gave you a free upgrade to like a Pathfinder. Like, I can't. I'm just a little girl. I can't do it. I can't drive that. Okay, number 9. After losing the election, the politician tried to cover his blank by arguing that many votes had been cast illegally.
Discomfiture.
Discomfiture, yes. That's not pointed at anybody in particular. Number 10, if you
Yes,
want
it
to
is.
get
Yeah, subtlety, man.
It
Subtlety.
could be about anybody. I'm sure
It's a
that's
lot
how-
of Stephen
Well,
King.
technically, it could be about Nixon as well. Technically.
I'm sure that's true. It could be about the Allegro election. It was very it was really a tense race. Number 10, if you want to make any progress with your goals, you have to be blank in the efforts you make towards them. Inexorable. Yes, very good. I remember recently, I don't remember what I was reading, but I read the phrase inexorably effective. And I was like, ooh, I love that. Like it's so effective, it just can't be stopped. I like that. Okay, so we will go over this. We'll review these words on Thursday and have a quiz on Friday. So make sure that you have all your answers. Is there anyone that I need to go back over?
What 6?
6 is nope. 6 is aver.
Alright.
Which is kind of funny because it's only one letter off from his last name. Stephen Avery. Okay. We are gonna read our next chapter today. I'm pumped about it because it is some more Maddie Ethan action.
Alright, if this is gonna be how can I, the best reference I got? If this is gonna be like 50 Shades of Grey, just sign me out.
It's not, I promise. Like not even close. Yeah, this is written in like the late 1800s, so they didn't do a whole lot of that back then. Okay, let's see. I had like a
The whole will they, won't they, will they. Okay, what kind of relationship is that?
what did you say?
That's what kind of
Keep it there,
relationship you got? Huh?
Talking to James, he moved his camera. Keep it there.
I don't know what is happening right here on this.
There's people in front of me now, so I'll move it so you don't have to see people.
No. It's fine. It gives it, what do you call it? It gives it detail. It
I'm
gives
gonna do
it,
this the whole class, don't I?
yes, it gives it flavor. That's what it is.
Alright.
What are we doing? Making
You
chicken?
just mute my mic real quick.
Happening. Why does the document have to be prepared for reading? I'm prepared to read it.
Well, it has to prepare itself to get read.
I don't like that it has to prepare itself because it makes me feel like it has a personality and that our machines are coming to life. And I've seen Terminator too much. Okay, so we finished. I'm going to get rid of this, even though I hate to. I'll just move it. Oh, God. Terrifying. Terrifying.
Alexa,
I know, that's so true.
Alexa, is your toast ready?
See, okay, I don't like. Mike put Adobe back on my computer, and I like that I can have multiple PDFs in here, but I can't just scroll easily through each one, and that annoys me. Okay, so where we left off, they broke the pickle dish. The cat really broke the pickle dish, but Maddie's all nervous about it, and Ethan's like, don't worry, I've got this handled. I'm going to simply place it back in an order where it doesn't look broken, then I'll deal with it later. Aren't I a big, strong man? And she's like, yeah, you are. I love it. This couple, I hate them. They're not a couple, but in their hearts they are. I know, it's gross. Okay, so this is still, chapter 5 is still dealing with them before Xena gets back. So this will be a very intimate, and I mean that in the way of like closeness, not as in like sexual intimacy. As previously stated, this is not 50 Shades of Grey.
Again, that's
Pickle
just
jar and
terrible.
Pickle jars and cats, yes.
Again,
I
that's just
feel like I want that to
terrible.
be like the title of a poem or something. Pickle jars and cats. Okay, anybody want to read?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Cece does want to read. There's just an aggressive yes. Cece, yeah. Cece's gonna read. All
They
right.
Okay. They finished supper, and while Maddie cleared the table, Ethan went to look at the cows and then took a last turn about the house. The earth lay dark under a muffled sky, and the air was so still that now and then he heard a lump of snow come thumping down from a tree far off on the edge of the woodlot. When he returned to the kitchen, Maddie had pushed up his chair to the stove and seated herself near the lamp with a bit of sewing. The scene was just as he had dreamed of it that morning. He sat down and drew his pipe from his pocket and stretched his feet to the glow of his hard day's work and the keen air made him feel at once lazy and light of mood, and he had a confused sense of being in another world where all was warmth and harmony and time could bring no change. The only drawback to complete his well-being was the fact that he could not see Maddie from where he sat, but he was too indolent to move, and after a moment, he said, "Come over here and sit by the stove." Zena's empty rocking chair stood facing him. Maddie rose obediently and seated herself in it. As her young brown head detached itself against the patchwork cushion that habitually framed his wife's gaunt countenance, Ethan had a momentary shock. It was almost as if the face of the suspended woman, had obliterated that of the intruder. After a moment, Maddie seemed to be affected by the same sense of constraint. She changed her position, leaning forward to bend her head above her work, so that he only saw the foreshortened tip of her nose and the streak of red in her hair. Then she slipped to her
Wait, sorry. Yep.
feet, saying, "I can't see to sew," and went back to her chair by the lamp. Ethan made a pretext of getting up to replenish the stove, and when he had returned to his seat, he pushed it sideways that he might get a view of her profile and of the lamp falling on her hands. The cat, who had been a puzzled observer of these unusual movements, jumped up into Zena's chair, rolled itself into a ball, and lay watching them with narrowed eyes. Deep quiet sank on the room. The clock ticked above the dresser. A piece of charred wood fell now and then in the stove, and the faint smoke and the faint, sharp scent of the geraniums mingled with the odor of Ethan's smoke, which began to throw a blue haze about the lamp and to hang its grayish cobwebs in the shadowy corners of the room. All constraint had vanished between the two, and they began to talk easily and simply. They spoke of everyday things, of the prospect of snow, of the next church sociable, of the loves and quarrels of Starkfield. The commonplace nature of what they said produced in Ethan an illusion of long-established intimacy which no outburst of emotion could have given, and he set in his imagination adrift on the fiction that they had always spent their evenings thus and would always go on doing so. This is the night we were to have gone coasting, Matt, he said at length, with a rich sense as he spoke that they could go on any other night they chose, since they had all the time before them. She smiled back at him. I guess you forgot. No, I didn't forget, but it's as dark as Egypt outdoors. We might go tomorrow if there's a moon. She laughed with pleasure, her head tilted back, the lamplight sparkling on her lips and teeth. That would be lovely, Ethan. He kept his eyes fixed on her, marveling at the way her face changed with each turn of their talk, like a wheat field under a summer breeze. It was intoxicating to find such magic in his clumsy words, and he longed to try new ways of using it. Would you be scared to go down the Corbury Road with me on a night like this? He asked. Her cheeks burned redder. I ain't scared any more than you are. Well, I'd be scared then. I wouldn't do it. That's an ugly corner down by the big elm. If a fellow didn't keep his eyes open, he'd go plumb into it. He luxuriated in the sense of protection and authority which his words conveyed. To prolong and intensify the feeling, he added, I guess we're well enough here. She let her lips sink slowly in the way he loved. Yes, we're well enough here, she said. She sighed. Her tone was so sweet that he took the pipe from his mouth and drew his chair up to the table. Leaning forward, he touched the farther end of the strip of brown stuff that she was summoning. Say, Matt, he began with a smile, what do you think I saw under the Varnum spruces coming along home just now? I saw a friend of yours getting kissed. The words had been on his tongue all evening, but now that he had spoken, they struck him as inexplicably vulgar and out of place. Maddie blushed to the roots of her hair and pulled her needle rapidly twice or thrice through her work, insensibly drawing the end of it away from him. I suppose it was Ruth and Ned, she said in a low voice, as though he had suddenly touched on something grave. Ethan had imagined that his illusion might open the way to the accepted pleasantries, and these perhaps in turn to a harmless caress, if a flaming guard about her, if only a mere touch on her hand. But now he felt as if her blush had set a flaming guard about her. He supposed it was his natural awkwardness that made him feel so. He knew that most young men made nothing at all of giving a pretty girl a kiss, and he remembered that the night before, when he had put his arm about Maddie, she had not resisted, but that had been out of doors under the open, irresponsible night. Now, in the warm lamplit room, with all its ancient implications of conformity and order, she seemed infinitely farther away from him and more unapproachable.
All right, so this is complicated and unfortunate in a lot of ways, and I don't know, kind of makes me hate Ethan more than I already did. But I don't hate Ethan. I just think, God, he's so dumb. But he really is kind of like trying to play house with her essentially right here, especially like, oops, where is it? Where the heck is it? Where have I gone? Sorry. Here we go. When he's just like, they're sitting there while she's knitting or sewing or whatever she's doing, and this is the first time we really see them like having a conversation. I think it's an interesting tactic that the author takes. She doesn't say what their conversation is. Like, they spoke of everyday things, the prospect of snow, the next church sociable, but like all that stuff, which by the way is like what a relationship is made out of, that comes secondary. in this story. Like the only actual words we get to hear from them are like the romantic longing stuff that like they shouldn't be saying to each other. I hate that. Because also like maybe if we heard the way that they interact with each other when they do just talk about like the normal stuff, maybe we would feel a little bit better about them. We're still not going to like that he is trying to cheat on his wife, but right now I don't even see that they have any chemistry, you know what I mean? And maybe
Understand.
we, yeah.
Mr. McClellan,
Yeah.
me personally, I don't really pity Ethan because kind of understand what he's doing. Like, I understand like where he's coming from. Like, man, like, okay, you got a sickly wife. I can play devil's advocate for that one. Like, you got a sickly wife. All right, that's one thing, and you try to cheat on her. Till the author shows like why. Oh, okay, I got agree what you're doing ish.
I get what you're saying, and I feel like we've talked about the fact that you can't control how you feel, and like he has every reason to feel like he wants to get out of his marriage, wants to get out of the situation that he's in, but it's the way he chooses to go about it. Like he's being really underhanded. He's like openly flirting with her, and then pretending in front of his wife like it didn't happen, even though everybody knows what's not being said here. And you know, I feel like, especially given the fact that we get to see his perspective a little bit just because of the point of view, and he's like wishing his wife was dead, that's tough. Like that's hard to empathize with. And I like the fact that some of the time I feel like I hate Ethan, I want him to die, and the other half I'm like, oh, I feel really bad that he's so stuck in his life, and I want better things for him. That kind of like being able to see different sides of a character is evidence of good writing, first of all. And one of the things I really like about literature, because that's what real life is like, people aren't just good people or bad people. People make good decisions and they make bad decisions. And I don't think Ethan's a bad person, but I think that Ethan's making a lot of bad decisions.
I don't see that. I see he making some power moves, but I see him just like
I wouldn't call those power moves. I don't think you know I don't think you know the definition of power moves, but those are definitely not power moves.
Hey, he's flirting with his wife openly.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I don't think you know what power moves means.
Yeah, I don't think of them as power moves, and I worry that you do because I think he's so bad at flirting, and like I wouldn't call them power moves at all because he sucks at it. And like that was the next thing that I was gonna talk about, because he's like trying to kind of put the moves on her, or like he wants to open up the conversation to have. He's just talking about sledding, and he's like, oh, we're supposed to go sledding tonight. And then he's like, know who I saw making out by the spruces? Hoping that she would be like, oh, that could be you and me, but you got a wife. So, and like, that's not her intention at all. He's just like trying to lead her into this conversation in the worst, least effective ways possible. He's embarrassing her. I mean, like, that's exactly what we just read before we stopped. Like, back then, people did not just, like, we say anything and everything nowadays. Like, nothing is off limits. But back then, a lot of stuff was off limits. And for him to be like, hey, I saw your friend getting kissed by the spruces, that's really, like, embarrassing to her. Like, that's a really intimate conversation to be having with someone who you're not intimate with. So like I have a hard time thinking of it as power moves because the moves he has suck. Randall said it best the other day. He was like, that's some weak game. It is. It is some weak game. And Ethan Frome has no chill.
Ethan Frome sucks at what he's doing, and I think he shouldn't quit his day job. I'm just
agree.
Me personally, this man just need to get out of that relationship, go to the mountains for a bit, and just reflect on his life.
He needs to go back to school. That's what he needs to do.
I don't know.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, he needs to go back to school to learn how to flirt.
Yeah.
But
I
also
don't
to get his
know. And
steering degree or whatever.
there's no lesson for flirting. All it is you just talk.
Yes,
normally.
there is a definite lesson on flirting. I will argue that 100%.
Yeah.
I'll argue a lot of
Yeah,
things. Look,
all I do
I'll
is just
argue a
talk.
lot of things, but this I will 100% stand behind, no doubt. There is a lesson, and you have to learn it by trial or error. Now, whether you choose to
That one I can
acknowledge
agree
the
with.
errors that you have made in said lesson, that's up to you. But there is a definite lesson in flirting, and what
Agreed.
he's doing
Don't
not
do it.
working.
And I feel like also like let's read it for what it is. I'm making light of it, and you know, I'm pretending like he's finger gunning me and like, hey, you want to go sledding? He's not. He's just like stammering and awkward. He's like, I saw your friend getting kissed by the spruces. Like, you creep.
Oh, I'm pitting the man. I'm like, this man
we
hasn't done this
were
to me.
supposed to go sledding earlier, and maybe we could do that sometime. Like, no, Ethan, it's not.
It's dark out. He's like, no, just kidding.
Just kidding. No. I wasn't suggesting that we should do. No, he's like really awkward and uncomfortable, and he does not have a strong game at all. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. Jesus Christ, I hate this. Sorry. See, like, why does it just pop back up? Like, let us read. Hey, I'm about to say bad words. Why can't I just see this much of it? Okay.
Don't touch it.
Let's continue.
Okay. Right at Maddie.
Yes.
Okay. Maddie blushed to the roots of her hair and pulled her needle rapidly toward. Oh, no. Something grave.
Oh, yeah, we read that.
Ethan had imagined. No.
We read that too. To ease his constraint.
Yeah. To ease his constraint, he said, I suppose they'll be setting a date before long. Yes, I shouldn't wonder if they got married sometime along in the summer. She pronounced the word married as if her voice crusted. It seemed a rustling covert leading to enchanted glades.
Okay. Sorry.
A pang shot through Ethan, and he said, twisting away from her in his chair, "It'll be your turn next. I wouldn't wonder." She laughed a little uncertainly. "Why do you keep on saying that?" Oh, he said this before? Huh? Okay. He echoed her laugh. "I guess I do it to get used to the idea." He drew up to the table again, and she sewed on in silence with dropped lashes while he sat in fascinated contemplation of the way in which her hands went up and down above the strip of stuff, just as he had seen a pair of birds make short perpendicular flights over a nest they were building. At length, without turning her head or lifting her lids, she said in a low tone, "It's not because you think Zena's got anything against me, is it?" His former dread started up full arm at the suggestion. "Why? What do you mean?" he stammered. She raised distressed eyes to her work dropping on the table between them. "I don't know. I thought last night she seemed to have." "I'd like to know what," he growled. Nobody can tell with Zena. It was the first time they had ever spoken so openly of her attitude toward Maddie, and the repetition of the name seemed to carry it to farther corners of the room and send it back to them in long repercussions of sound. Maddie waited as if to give the echo time to drop, and then went on. "She hasn't said anything to you?" He shook his head. "No, not a word."
I was just going to point out, because I heard you say, oh, has he mentioned this before? And he kind of mentioned it before when they were walking home, just about like her leaving and possibly leaving to get married, because that's what it's expected that a young woman will do. But like, clearly neither of them really want for her to leave or to get married. So they're kind of talking around this. But I like the description of how, like, the more they mention Zena's name, it's almost like she's in the room with them. They were able to ignore the fact that she's a person, a very important person in their lives before now, while they're kind of like playing house. And once they mention her, it becomes a lot more real, I guess. Before we move on, did you see where that fell out of?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have a ghost.
I might have a ghost. Yeah, like something horrific just happened, but I don't exactly know what. It's just like a little screw, isn't it? Weird. Oh well, I'm not terribly worried about it. I just was like, oh no, is this gonna fall down all of a sudden? And I hope not. Okay.
She tossed her hair back from her forehead with a laugh. I guess I'm just nervous then. I'm not going to think about it anymore. Oh no, don't. Oh no, don't. Let's think about it, Matt. The sudden heat of his tone made her color mount again, not with a rush, but gradually, delicately, like the reflection of a thought stealing slowly across her heart. She sat silent, her hands clasped on her work, and it seemed to him that a warm current flowed toward him along the strip of stuff that still lay unrolled between them. Cautiously, he slid his hand palm down along the table till his fingertips touched the end of the stuff. A faint vibration of her lashes seemed to show that she was aware of his gesture and that it had sent a counter current back to her, and she let her hands lie motionless on the other end of the strip. As they sat thus, he heard a sound behind him and turned his head. The cat had jumped from Zena's chair to dart at a mouse in the wainscot, and as a result of the sudden movement, the empty chair had set up a spectral rocking. She'll be rocking in it herself this time tomorrow, Ethan thought. I've been in a dream, and this is the only evening we'll have together. The return to reality was as painful as the return to consciousness after taking an anesthetic. His body and brain echoed with indescribable weariness, and he could think of nothing to say or to do that should arrest the mad flight of the movements. His alteration of mood seemed to have communicated itself to Maddie. She looked up at him languidly, as though her lids were weighted with sleep, and it cost her an effort to raise them. Her glance fell on his hand, which was now completely covered at the end of her work, and grasped it as if it were a part of herself. He saw a scarcely perceptible tremor across her face, and without knowing what he did, he stooped his head and kissed the bit of stuff in his hold. As his lips rested on it, he felt it glide slowly from beneath them and saw that Maddie had risen and was silently rolling up her work. She fastened it with a pin, finding her thimble and scissors, put them with the roll of stuff into the box covered with the fancy paper which he had once brought her from Brett's Bridge. He stood up, also looking vaguely about the room. The clock above the dresser struck 11. Is the fire all right? She asked in a low voice. He opened the door of the stove and poked aimlessly at the embers. When he raised himself again, he saw that she was dragging toward the stove the old soap box lined with a carpet in which the cat made its bed. Then she recrossed the floor, lifted two of the geranium pots in her arms, moving them away from the cold window. He followed her and brought the other geraniums, the hyacinth bulbs in a cracked custard bowl, and the German ivy trained over an old croquet hoop. When these nightly duties were performed, there was nothing left to do but bring in the tin candlestick from the passage, light the candle, and blow out the lamp. Ethan put the candlestick in Maddie's hand, and she went out of the kitchen ahead of him, the light that she carried before her making her dark hair look like a drift of mist on the moon. Good night, Matt, he said as she put her foot on the first step of the stairs. She turned and looked at him a moment. Good night, Ethan, she answered, and when the door of her room had closed on her, he remembered that he had not even touched her hand.
Okay, so this intimate evening they have together, it's not even anything. Like, it's intimate because they make it intimate, but like nothing happens between them. He didn't even touch her hair. What's the one thing he did that was super weird?
He touched the piece of cloth that she was working on.
Yes, she's like got this long piece of cloth in her hand that she's sewing or knitting or whatever, and he like takes the end of it and presses his face to it and kisses it like it's an extension of her. And if that isn't the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Like, I get it on one hand because if you love someone, and I'm not even saying I think he really loves her, but if you love someone, then like their stuff holds a certain preciousness for you. But like, I'm not trying to kiss somebody's piece of cloth they got in there. She's right there. Why doesn't he just?
No, he decided to grab the weird piece of cloth and kiss that.
Exactly. And like, this is the end of the scene, by the way. You can see ahead to chapter 6 the next morning. Like, this is all that happens. But it winds up being a pretty significant evening for them. They're one evening together. And I'm curious to know what you guys think is going to happen, because he does say something, I think it was on the last page, like in his internal monologue. He's like, this is all I have with her. We have this one evening together, and that's going to be it. And I just have to live with that. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Is this actually going to be it? Are they going to run away together? Is Xena going to die and everything will be fine?
Miss McClellan,
It's a realism story.
don't
Yeah.
put that image in my head.
Yes, that's a good point. Alyssa was like, isn't this a realism story? It's not going to end well for them, which is a good point. What did you say, LeBron?
I said, don't put that image in my head because we know what's gonna happen. We all
Well,
know.
What do you think is going to happen?
They're gonna get caught. Some crap's gonna happen, and it's gonna be a world of crap.
Okay.
I still think Xena slept with the doctor that she went to go see.
Hey, I will bet that.
I want her to be with the doctor.
I kind of want that to happen.
I know, that's a better paycheck.
If that doesn't happen, we should write some Ethan Frome fan fiction where she runs off.
I think that is the best way we can do it, yeah. Because I want her to be with the doctor. I want Maddie to go about her way and marry Dennis Eady. And I want Ethan to go back to school, finish out his education so that he does not have to live in Starkfield anymore. That is what I want.
I think that sounds like an ideal ending for everyone. I would support that.
I'm not gonna lie. In real life, we all know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We all know,
Well, no, because even then, that technically could be real life, like straight up, because there are instances that Maddie could just be like, no, don't want you. And then Dennis Eady is like, oh, I love you. Like that technically is a real instance that definitely could happen. Now, would Maddie be happy in that marriage? Probably not. But it would happen. And then I don't know about Ethan going back to school being realistic, but I do know him leaving Starkfield would be way more realistic. But we saw from the prologue that doesn't happen. But, you know.
Well, here's
one that I want.
Go ahead.
One I want is, I want Ethan just to get the heck out of that situation. Like, all right, I don't love my wife. I like this girl, but I think I'm just using that as a substitute. I got a plan. I'm gonna ditch everybody and live in the mountains. That if I was in this situation, now I'll do it. Like, I don't like nobody. Where's the nearest mountain, and how much does it cost?
He lives on a mountain.
Oh.
Or
Well,
he's like farm
It's
village.
the hill mountain farm thing, but he lives up there.
Yeah. So here's a question, because you asked, like, would Maddie be happy if she went with Dennis Eady? Maybe not. But if things work out for Ethan and Maddie, do you think that they would really be happy together?
No.
Alyssa says no. Someone else said no. Someone else said yes.
I said no.
Well, I say yes because it's not gonna last long.
Because what?
I say yes, but it's not gonna really last that long. Because
Okay.
I've noticed Ethan has this pattern. Once
Yeah.
you lose interest in something, he's gonna find another. Let's say booty call. He's gonna find someone else to replace it.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. Like, I think that Ethan is deeply unhappy, and someone else might make it better for a little while, but in the end, that's not really changing his life all that much. Actually, it makes me think of the movie The Graduate, which you guys probably haven't seen, but you should at some point. It's a classic. And I mean, I'm going to give you a spoiler here for the movie, but a lot of it is about these two people like trying to be together, and there's a lot of really messed up stuff that gets in their way. But at the end, they kind of like run away together, and the last scene is them on a bus as they're leaving, and like they have everything they want, but then like the camera just stays on their faces, and you can see that they're kind of like, well, what now? What do we do? Is this it? And like it's a really kind of heart-wrenching ending because this is what they wanted for so long, and now that they have it, you know, where else is there to go? Sometimes it's just about the chase. That's exactly it. And I think that if Maddie and Ethan wind up together, he's not going to be any happier with her than he would be with Cena, because his life is not different. It's just a different co-star in the story of his life for a minute.
It's like a car.
She might
Same
be.
car, new coat of paint.
Same car, new coat of paint. Yes, exactly. And you know, Alyssa just said she's not sure if Maddie would be all that happy. She might just be uncomfortable. And I think it's hard to know because we don't really get much of Maddie's perspective in this book. We just get her interactions with Ethan. But he seems to me to be a lot more into it than she is. And maybe that's just her being like a woman during this time and being reserved. She's not going to be like, hey, leave your wife and let's run away together. Like that's way too forward for a woman during this time. But, you know, I think she does have feelings for him. Would she say that she wanted him to leave his wife? I don't know.
I think she understands that if she does have feelings, like I think she understands that her feelings for Ethan are wrong. That's what I think. And that's why she's being the way she's being with him.
Yeah.
So,
I think she knows that her having feelings for him is not what she's supposed to have feelings for.
She definitely knows that he likes her now after he's kissing her fabric. Like seriously.
okay, man, you learn boundaries. There's a limit.
There's a limit. I feel like
what if
she didn't actually? She has never actually said, and like we've picked up on it. We think she has feelings for him, but what if she didn't? Like, what if she was just being nice the whole time, and then he like picks up her cloth and starts kissing it? I'd be like, I have to leave. I have to move out right now. I'm no longer comfortable in this situation.
So I'm gonna go get her.
I'm gonna go coasting on my own if that's okay.
So that man, I think you just need a psychiatrist. So I can chop this version of love as I can't chop this up.
I think Ethan needs a good therapist. I think you're.
Hello, Mr. McClellan, help me out. When can you chop this form of love? Obsessive?
What? Oh. Yeah, I think it's pretty obsessive. But we're gonna have to talk about it later because that's the bell. And we have to go. Bye. James, have fun at the beach.
Son of a gun.